Good evening, everybody. System Chalk here with the 63rd episode of the Apostle Obsonate playthrough as I subscribe. We were just finishing up Fox Lily Meadows. I also think we need to... Right, I'm not going to be using Porter to hoodwink someone. I just forgot what the mission for a Moth Follower was. We're still... no, we're not painting anymore. We are doing we're doing an Edge manuscript. I think that might be to sort of refresh some of the mystique, but also to... I mean, now's not a bad time. I'm flush with cash. It wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of extra time to make the notoriety expire. It does mean that my days of sort of doing 4 notoriety paintings are over, but I think, we're okay. I'm in a decent enough position to be able to cover my expenses, and the biggest drag on us is actually going to be expeditions, which we're on the last for, and we've actually paid for everything. Now that we know the Watchers have been dealt with, even if we fail the curse, we're still going to be able to afford the expedition. The curse can't stop you; it can only give you a bad time. So we're in good shape. Is basically what I'm trying to say, and it does mean that I can get moving a little bit earlier than I sometimes do. So I think it's quite likely we're going to see a fascination off of this one, but I'm going to risk it anyway, just because I can deal with it. Alright, it is a lesson learned. The painted river runs from a great chamber near the White Door, far through the mansis, to its far edge where it enters a painted delta of far cloud. I voyaged half its length last night with a stern-faced captain beneath a rust-red sail. As the clouds rose before us, the sailors raised a yearning shanty and close-hauled the sails to best use the painted wind. And all the while, the captain and I discoursed on the secrets of the House of the Sun. Alright, so the question is, what do I do with my dream verb now? And the answer to that is to go back through the Peacock Door. Now, it would be nice if I could get a second Wildering mirror or other mirror to use on the Peacock Door, because it does take some time for me to be able to repair it. But for the time being, I will settle for it, because the Peacock Door will give me one of two important things, either high-value secret histories, or it will give me hidden languages. So in my dreams, I know the path through the glass garden to the Peacock's Door. It's the most admirable of doors, the door which shines like a mirror. Perhaps with the right resources, I can pass it. The Peacock's Door reflects the mirror I hold in my sleep, and the mirror reflects the Peacock's Door. Already a sensuous shiver ripples its surface. It aches for fracture, and when it finds that satisfaction, I will enter. Of course, the sci-fi version of Cultist Simulator will have a video camera and a monitor staring into each other. That won't be invented for a while. There it is. Is that it? So we're going to be getting our next unresolved ambiguity. I'm in no rush to explore those, but it's a good use of the verb at a time when I might be in danger of losing my losing to despair. Alright, now it's important for me to throw some heart followers in, so again, we want to have 2 of them to deal with the Fifth Eye Curse, and it's not a guarantee, but it is the best defense that I have against it. Well, or the 2 Winter, but in this case, heart was what I had chosen earlier. Alright, the clouds part. The wolf despair prowls elsewhere. Not quite ready to put my forge followers to use, so we'll leave them be. We get a contentment if I need it. So I suppose the question is there anything I could be doing right now with the talk verb? Really only in 5 seconds, so we'll let it run. Alright, I finished the manuscript. So with that in mind, we can turn in the manuscript to Count Jannings. Now, this is not earning me any money, but that's fine because I already have other ways of dealing with it. So employ reason towards Madame Bichet's forge manuscript, and... Alright, so if I want, I can take Scholar Vac. I think this is the right call here. There's might be something desirable behind these, but I need it, and that will just mean that moving forward, everything at the Peacock Door I will take behind one of these 2. So... Last night I opened the Peacock Door, and afterwards it spoke to me. I am Vac, it boasted, both the tongue and the goddess. I am the only entrance into secret light. I was worshipped before you upright apes. and I will still be here when all of you are ugly ash. Listen, and I will prove it. I woke with my mouth full of words. This is actually one of my favorite moments in the Mansis here. There's just something about having that dream and waking up, understanding a different language. Now there's, I think, one more that we don't have. I know we don't have Deep Mandiac. The thing that I'm not clear on, though, is if there was anything other than Deep Mandiac. And I believe Deep Mandiac is it's a made-up language, but with a basis in a real language. So I believe Mandiac is something from history, but the deep part is the one that we don't know. Now again, this is pretty, it's an alien language, and so this is the sort of stuff that you probably don't want to be reading when you're under the effects of a season of despair. But we've now gained access to all of the books. We have plenty that we'll be able to do while we're waiting for our next batch of expeditions, which is good. Let's throw Clovette in. We are strong enough in heart to be almost entirely secure against the curse, which is good. We will throw ourselves into the Stag Door. Now again, it's kind of a punt in terms of getting the Forbidden Epics. I am committing myself to some extra research doing that, but it's better than nothing. It does let me use that verb productively. I don't have any disease to cure. We're actually pretty safe at the moment. We've got 100 seconds left on our notoriety. There's going to be a big expiry of Mystique, so again, I'm taking a little bit of a chance, and more importantly, we are going to be getting some notoriety from the Fox Lily Meadows journey, but it is also worth remembering that we've got Callagines which are going to expire, and we're not going to have any expeditions to preserve them. So, it's not necessarily a bad time for me to think about what my final works for them will be. Because I was in a position where I was generating a lot of notoriety, the other consideration I could have made would be to start doing some more paintings. So for instance, we have with the Refulgin, the Vital Pigment, the Rose Pearl Dust, the Piebald Pigment, the Marcinite Paste, and the Xanthotic Essence. So effectively everything but Nock. We have the materials we need to be able to make these paintings. These paintings are level 8 instruments or artifacts. I think it's an instrument? No, it's a tool. So with that in mind, I think Nock would be an improvement. Weakful Tympanum. Yeah, so it's actually only the Lantern one that would... No, sorry, the Lantern and the Forge one that would be helpful. Although, maybe not a bad time to reflect on that, so... I received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. So Jennings is going to be on cooldown for a little while. And I do have some refreshed Mystique. That is kind of a consideration for why I did it. Right, I've increased my knowledge of the secret histories behind the one we know. Now I suppose the question is, do I want to continue doing the same with my erudition here? I don't think it would hurt. So yeah, let's go back to reading the Forbidden Epic, just because we do still have some glimmering, and we may be getting some erudition from the remaining text. It wasn't originally what I had planned, but let's run with it. Talk verb again. We were leaving alone. Nope, well, there you go. The curse shrivels. Our power is stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. So, priority number 1, we're going to send the Callagine after the evidence, assuming the evidence is generated. And then failing that, or not failing that, but following that, we will get Clovette to clean up my reputation. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. One thing I kind of like about this, I didn't really get a romantic partner for this playthrough, but there is something neat about the idea of, that one of the events where you refresh your acquaintance. I love the idea of sending them off on an expedition. It's like, I can't talk now, honey. You gotta go to Fox Lily Meadows. Don't get murdered. All right. Let's finish the manuscript. Again, we'll turn it in with Madame Bichet. If nothing else, it'll give me, refresh the queue, and then Secret Histories with Dr. Adine. There we go. Alright, so unfortunate, but we have what we need to deal with it. I dreamt of the mantis behind the white door, of the great space above the orchard, the space that overlooks the bounds, the space where the vagabond once painted her river. Painted ships passed upon the painted river. I met the painted eyes of a painted captain. She saluted, and the motion was like the layered movement of clouds. The sail of the ship was amber, and the captain's eyes the green of new barley, and the river aquamarine. Now that I'm awake, I see those colors still. So we should have a fleeting reminiscence to deal with that. That's why I was a little bit, like, I just kind of kept spamming the painted river, because in the worst case scenario I just occupy the dream verb, which was going to be waiting for the fixed mirror anyway. Alright, I've received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. So there's another erudition, so that probably means 2 new... No, it won't mean 2 new upgrades, because we do not have any glimmering unless we get lucky with Dr. Adim. Alright, well, that's life. I'm not going to repair the Wildering Mirror yet, just because I've got a commission with Dr. Adim in 49 seconds. It's not a bad... Not too long to wait. It's a puzzle with missing pieces, so let's give you the erudition. We will be able to use at least one of the glimmering, but I think I'm pretty sure we're done after that. It's not bad though. I mean, we were able to recover a couple extra unresolved ambiguities. It'll give me something to do with the explore verb. We've dipped claws in ammonia and bound them round our faces to deaden the fox-lily scent. Even so, our heads swim, our bodies respond to a half-dozen contradictory desires. Here are the bones we sought. Loot them and get out. Looks like Paul Samuelson's giving us our blood just in time, and unfortunately we don't have the glimmering we need. So I didn't time that right. And my study verb would... So normally I would want the... normally I would, use the study verb to get the glimmering. Not going to happen. So the best I can hope for now would be I turn in with Dr. Adim and he gives me... I turn in Dr. Adim and he gives me a glimmering. If he doesn't, too bad for me. Alright. The nourishment of blossoms. The fox lilies are white as cave skin, white as frost, white as unsullied sheets. It is hard to look away. We will close our eyes and struggle away with our treasures. So there's the notoriety we were talking about. Good work, Dorothy. Good work, Hint. Good work, Callagine. Good work, Callagine. And looks like we have got a bunch of pigments. So I may use the forge one. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with that yet. Actually, I guess it's time to decide. You know what? Let's do it. So I'm going to throw all my passion into this. Probably not the smartest idea, but there you have it. I'm going to use the formula fissive. We'll make esoteric art. And I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their superior, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. So we should be able to extract at least one more use out of the Callagine. I'm going to leave the dream verb open just because we're going to become sick. And now the question is, what do I want to do with the explore verb? Now, I have a bunch of different options available to me. So I did say in the previous video I don't necessarily like dealing with things that are people telling me how to play the game, but I have talked about this a couple of times. So just because I know that it's happened enough over multiple accounts that it's probably not bad for me to address it. So I'm not moving my headquarters right now because I'd like an idea about exactly what lore I'm going to be upgrading. And so I've not made the decision about where I want to move because I'm not necessarily sure which advantage I want to take, particularly because I no longer have my personal strength. So with that in mind, I have a particular strategic reason for wanting to decide which of the advantages I want to be getting from a headquarters. And I think it's been pretty clear that even when I get evidence or even when I get notoriety, I've got a way of handling it. The Callagines are really helpful for that. So I'm not going to be moving my headquarters until I want to. And then the next one is the question of funds. Now, I talk about funds a lot, and it is a pressure that I feel inside of the game, but I talk about it in anticipation of what's going to be needed. There isn't a point here where I've said, I'm out of money and I don't know what I'm going to do about it. The biggest problem with wanting to auction off items is that that will take up an explore verb, and right now I've been wanting to get different texts. Now I'm flush with texts, and I don't really have any more expeditions to go on. In fact, using the auction house to sell items would mean that the Callagine, which only has a short lifespan, wouldn't be on an expedition. I wouldn't be making the most of what I had on the board. And so because I've had this stack of money and I've been able to generate it otherwise, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to use the explore verb to go and sell off different items. And of course, I would never sell off these items until I sell these. In fact, as far as the Spintrea are concerned, I want to keep the bronze so that I can keep going to the Peacock Door. But I definitely want to sell my extra books before I would sell anything here, because even in the worst possible scenario, these, I almost never use them for this, but I can use them in the different rites to be able to do the summonings. So it's, I'm not trying to be difficult on those ones, but this works for me very well. And in fact, these are a particular case where I think the alternative is suboptimal, in my opinion at least. That doesn't mean that it may be suboptimal for others, but it is one that doesn't work for my particular play style. And so this is one of those rare times where I actually can do something with the explore verb. And of course, we don't have the long coming after us now, and so there is a reason for me to start converting these into cash, because there isn't anything that's going to be taking them away from me. The other possibility is, of course, I can start using these unresolved ambiguities to get different locations. The reason why you might not want to bank a bunch of locations coming up is if you potentially have a rival, because then your rival can be going to those expeditions where in situations where you can't, and then you're in trouble. So I'm most likely going to use this for the auction house. However, I'm going to take a quick flyer on something just in case it doesn't turn out with Adim. We're going to send my pawn to explore, and let's see if we can get lucky and get the Street Strange by moonlight. Sorry to kind of delay the stream, or not delay the talk about things that maybe other people already knew. Is of course the challenge that you have when you broadcast. Is you've got same thing gets said to the whole audience, but hopefully that'll maybe clear up what might be some misconceptions about why I'm playing the way that I am. Okay, so we got 2 seconds on the Callagine, just in time to get rid of the evidence. This hint, I think I'm just going to have to accept that it goes away. I could try and resummon it, but the problem is that what am I going to use it for? I could send it to try and kill the Weary Detective. But that's just going to generate some more notoriety, and another hunter's going to come and replace them. So it's probably better that I just take the hit, deal with the fascination and be done with it. We do have a season. Oh, no, we don't have a Season of Despair. That's already passed, so. All right, a hireling. I found someone whom I might pay to enact regrettable necessities. Well, you know what? I've got a smoky creature of forge and winter, so no, I don't need that. So unfortunately, we don't have the intuition. I'm just going to have to take the loss on that. we can upgrade it later, and I will, because it's going to mess up my lore pile. But I'm fine. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, it's the bitter black salts. All right, I messed this up. So, no ordinary chemist would produce these dark gleaming crystals, not without the touch of the forge. So the problem that I had here was I was talking about them, but I wasn't looking at the... Oh, hang on. No, that's right. It's an ingredient, but I'm looking for a pigment. It's the blue icon. All right, so we may start seeing some sickness coming up. I don't have any vitality, so actually probably wouldn't be a bad idea to visit the work site. Balked. My studies have been stymied for now. All right, dark grains properly treated yield fiery colors. I made something unique, something extraordinary, something I will never dare to exhibit publicly. Okay. So let's take a look at what we've got here. So, well, there's the glimmering I needed. Contentment. I'm really happy that I made that painting. There's a trembling heat, so I could resummon a Callaghan, I suppose. Extra notoriety. Oh, double notoriety. Did that happen last time? I don't remember. If we got staleness off of that, I'd be so mad. And there is a painting of the Forge of Days. The Forge could regret it, would regret the intercalate, but in all its other work, it knows joy. So this is, I mean, I'm probably not going to use it in a work, but this does now give me a reasonably powerful Forge artifact that I can use. And I think that is it for our time. Let's, tell you what, I know I like to try and get it done at the 20-minute mark, but let's at least set ourselves up for the start. So we will consume the little vial of blood, lie back, close my eyes. Tomorrow I will be stronger. Now, it doesn't mean that there's going to be fascination. So if a Season of Visions is in our future, which it is, of course it is, I'm actually in a little bit more danger than I normally am, because we get the fascination from this, but then we also get the fascination from the hint if I don't manage that well. So I'm going to need to think a little bit about how I'm going to get either a fleeting reminiscence or some gloom. I'll work it out. And then the work verb. So I suppose the question would be, well, tell you what. This wasn't how I was planning on doing it, but maybe now is not a bad time for me to extend the life of the hint. As above, so below, reason and passion contend in the human soul, and the glory lights the darkness of the wood. This mystic discipline will transform passion to reason. Oh, not looking to do that. I am, however, looking to, well, let's get, oh wait, I can't put Neville in. Neville's not going to be the victim. So yeah, we'll use knock. Oh, actually, we only need to use the knock for that. I don't even need anything else. But is there a... Not really. Yeah, this is the right call. So I'm going to kick the can down the road just because the Season of Visions is upon me. So, moving forward, we are done the expeditions that we had on our plate. There's going to be a lot of book reading. In fact, I'll probably try and kick up some of those winter books to give me some despair to deal with. Following that, we will uncover some more expeditions. I'll probably convert at least some of my possessions into something a little more liquid, and then I'm going to be overworking the heart to deal with my notoriety so that I can finally go back to Glover and Glover and earn lots and lots of money. But all of that will be happening next week. As always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscriptions. Of course, you all already know how to do that, but the thing about YouTube is that it does. I've actually noticed the times when I don't say it. These videos are popular enough that it's actually enough that I can see it in the metrics. So I appreciate you all sitting through the calls to action. I know they are tedious. And there is one last thing I wanted to mention, which is you have all been very, very good at pointing out when I mess something up on YouTube, particularly if there is a mislabeled video or something else goes wrong. And I want to give you an idea, just maybe to close off the weekend and spend the extra time together. I actually noticed that I didn't label something as Cultist Simulator, and I forgot to put tags on it. And it was viewed by half as many people as it was before. So when you point out something that went wrong, it is actually something that has a direct and measurable impact on this series. So while it is, of course, always my responsibility for me to get all of this stuff done, I just wanted to take a minute and say thank you to those of you who point that stuff out. I also know that it can sometimes be a little nerve-wracking to tell someone, hey, you screwed up. But in my own case, it is something that is actually really helping me, because obviously I'm still a very small broadcaster, and to be able to see the increase in terms of views is something that helps a lot. So as always, thank you very much. I do appreciate and read all of your comments. So see you all next week. I hope you had a good time.